Let me show you how I created this soft beautiful glam on my model Sarah. Hi guys, my name is Ayo. Welcome back to my channel, and let's get right into this video. The first thing I love doing is to cleanse my model face, which is actually very important, and I'm using my Garnier micellar water and my cotton pad to do that. Next on the list is my BADESCU spray. This one has cucumber and green tea and it's very good for oily skin. And then I am going in with my glow recipes. This is the dew drop. It's actually very good to revive a dull skin. And next I'm using my moisturizer from COSRX. This is a hydrating moisturizer and it is oil free, and that's one of the reasons why I love it. Make sure you dry every process before going in with another product. And last but not the least, for my skin prep is my elf primer. You know how I feel about this primer. Now let's move into foundation. For foundation, I'm using this Fenty Beauty Pro Filter foundation in 490. This is a perfect shade. And then next for our contour, I'm using this one. This is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter foundation in 498. Yeah, I think I am right on that. And I'm just using that for our low light, which is also very important. For blush, I am picking this maroon shade from my Makeup Forever palette, and I'm just using that at the highest point of our cheek. Guys, are you seeing this beauty? For highlighting, I'm mixing this concealers. This is from Born This Way in Butterscotch and KEVYN AUCOIN in SX14. I'm mixing both to just, create that lovely shade. And I'm using that around a cupid bow on the under eye, a chin, a forehead, and to further lift the eye, I'm basically doing what you're seeing on your screen. I love a naturally sculpted lifted eye, and that's why I love doing the lifting from the beginning rather than just using my setting powder to just lift it. Like this is just going to create a natural lifting effect, if you get what I mean. And now I am just blending this in place. Now, one of the major mistakes I made for this look is I did not double coat the concealer, and that is after blending, then I apply another lighter concealer to just coat or to just double coat that concealer. And what eventually happened was that when she started crying, the entire makeup around that under eye just it went bad. So that is a pro tip for you guys. And I'm using that same foundation that I use for a contour to just contour our nose. And now for setting powders, I am using my one size in translucent. You guys know that I love that particular setting powder a lot, and I'm just using that to set the concealer or the highlighted area in place. It's very important that you do this. A lot of people don't do this. You want to be very careful when using a brush to set. Now to further set a highlighted area, I'm using this Veebeauty powder palette. This is in chocolate and chestnut. I'm just using that to further lift our face and to further set that highlighted area in place. Guys, are you seeing the lifting effect? Now to powder our entire face, I'm using the same powder palette, and this time I'm using maroon and ebony for our entire face. You guys can see how beautiful and how seamless this blend is. You want to be very careful when picking your foundation, your powder, and every shade that you because it's very important. Now moving on to my blush, I'm using this volume 1 from Juvias place, and I'm just using that blush softly. I'm not doing too much. Now to lock everything in place, I'm using this Charlotte Tilbury airbrush setting spray to just lock everything in. Now I am going in with my benign cloud white as my eyeshadow base. I didn't show you guys how I baked the face. I did it off camera, and if you want to know how I do it, just check my previous videos and you see how I did that, or how I usually just do that. Now for our lips, I'm using this Beautybydidi. I don't know the name, I'll leave it in the description box below, and I'm using that to just line our lips. And to further lighten our lip, I'm using this Beauty by Didi. You guys know this shade already. I will leave it in the description box below. And you guys know I really like that shade. I love this Beauty by AD lipstick a lot, so yeah, I use it every single time. Now for the eyes, I'm going to start with the transition shade, and I'm picking this color from the volume 1 Juvias Place palette. This is their bronzer, and I'm just using that to just create a highlight. And usually a highlight is always darker. It's supposed to be darker given a skin tone, but today I decided I wanted to use black. So now I'm using my black around a crease area, and I am blending that into the transition shade to just further darken that transition shade, if you get what I mean. Now guys, I still use my hands to apply shimmer. It's very important that you take note of that, and the reason why I do that is because I just try to avoid fallout as much as I can, and I realize that hands actually, or my fingers actually, control the fallout. So fallout can ruin your makeup if you are not baking correctly. So even though I have baked correctly, it's still very important that I still try to control the fallout. Now if you want an eyebrow tutorial, I have an eyebrow tutorial on this channel, so please, after this video, watch it and you guys will know how to do your eyebrows. And although I need to do like an update video, so if you want an updated video on how to do your eyebrows, just leave a comment down below and I'll make sure to create that. To line our waterline, I'm using this MERAK cosmetic charcoal pencil to just line our waterline. If you do not have this pencil, like I always say, you can get the Inglot gel liner. That is actually very good, and I think I actually prefer that one. And the reason is because if your client have a teary eye, Inglot gel is like the perfect one because it is waterproof and no amount of tears will destroy the waterline. But for this one, see, for every time my client cry or she becomes teary, there is always this black gel just dropping down. So you have to take note of that. Next on my list is the finishing touch, and I am just dusting off the excess powder that is on my model skin, and I am applying my blush. This time I want the blush to be more pronounced, and that's why I am going heavy on it. Please be very careful with this. And to lock everything in place and to melt the powder, I'm using this my Morphe continuous spray. You guys know how I feel about this spray. Now to the star of the show. This is the TARTE Glow palette, and I am using that to just create these highlights that I obviously love. And one thing I love about this palette is how soft and beautiful it is. It's very calm. It does not do too much, but then it is doing a lot, if you get what I mean. Like the glow on our skin after I applied this particular product is insane, and I don't think I'll be using any other glow palette for now. I'm in love with this one. And to further create this shiny and glowy look, I decided to gloss the lip. I mean, like, who is not glossing lip in this day and time? Please gloss that lip. See, the era for matte lip is gone. Now we are glossing it, and look at how my model look like. And to seal everything in, I'm using my Soap Pro Seal It spray. And we've come to the end of this video. You can see how gorgeous my model look. Thank you, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.